Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the, what's today's date? 2nd of November, 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight. Let me fix my audio, make it a little louder. Tonight on Monday Night Raw. And if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say it right now. I feel like tonight's show was just a let's get through it kind of show. I don't know how you guys felt about tonight's show, but to me, it really did feel like a let's just get this done with kind of show. And that's not something that you should be putting out there. Excuse me. Pizza King of WWE in the chat says, did you see Raw Talk? No, I did not. Enlighten me. I'm going to do my little spiel entrance, and then I'll get back to you in the chat, Pizza King. Let me know what I missed on Raw Talk. Also, Sean Cook says your lighting's different. No, my lighting's the same. Different camera. Still trying to dial in the camera. Camera's different, and new fat lazy boy back there. My buddy got a new one and said, want my old one for free? I said, I ain't turning down a free. So that's what's new. New camera, new chair. Lighting, still the exact same. Trying to dial it in with the new camera. I have a couple of tweaks I need to do. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. If you're here with us tonight on Twitch Live, you can help us out a couple of different ways. Either going down below and hitting that donation button, dropping some of them Twitch biddies, or with a subscription. And you can subscribe one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And not only can you watch the new Borat where he tries to give his daughter to Mike Pence, you can subscribe to us for absolutely free, because with Prime Gaming, you pay for Amazon that $12 a month or $100 and whatever a year, and then you subscribe to us for free, and we get a little kickback off of that, courtesy of you guys. But you can also do a tiered subscription as well, as many of you have. So we really do appreciate everything you do, donate and subscribe and all that here on Twitch. Because like I've said in the past, everything we do make here on Twitch does go back into a fund to help families that have been displaced by the Creek Fire here in California, in Central California. That is, there's been a fire that's impacted a lot of people that I know personally. And like I've stated, I know one family personally that lost their home. I know a couple other families that are living with relatives about 30, 45 minutes away from their home. And I just really want to help those people out, especially as we get closer and closer to Christmas time. So going back to Pizza King in the chat, as far as what happened on a Raw Talk, he says, Retribution confronted R-Truth because he made fun of them, or fun of their names. So, and here's the thing. He's no longer Mustafa Ali. He's Mustafa Ali. Trust me. Byron tried saying it that way all night. And when he did his deal about why people in Retribution have the names, that's what he said. Mustafa. My name's Mustafa. Anyways, Mustafa Ali called the other members and they stared him down. Lacey and Peyton got into an argument. I didn't see Braun's part, though. Not surprised about. I mean, none of that's really newsworthy, to be honest. I'm just gonna say it right now. And let me fix. I'm still dialing in this camera. Am I zoomed out all the way? I am zoomed out all the way. I may have to. I'll try something for the Wednesday show. I'm still dialing in this camera. For some reason, it looks really good on the camera screen, but then on the computer, it's still slightly grainy, and I don't like that. So maybe I got to get a new cord because the cord's not good. But we're not here to talk about my technical stuff. We're here to talk about Monday Night Raw. Let's jump right into it as the show kicked off with Tom Phillips telling us, welcome to the award-winning and critically acclaimed WWE Thunderdome. Randy Orton came out to start the show. They're pushing that Orton has a lot going on between McIntyre, Bray Wyatt, and Mr. Money in the Bank Miz, along with also having to take on one Roman Reigns come a Survivor Series best of the best. And tonight, I don't know how many times Randy Orton said the word best. More times than I was willing to try and remember, I guess you could say. Because he's like, this is his best, this is his best, blah, 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 best, blah, 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 best of the best. And I was like, new buzzword, best. Orton said that he won the championship and that makes him the best, period. He's better than Edge, better than Undertaker, better than Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and definitely better than McIntyre. And my first thought was, is Undertaker coming back to face Randy Orton? Because last time somebody started rattling off names like this, it was AJ. And then he had the Boneyard match. But I don't think that's going to happen. Orton said that he was better than everyone in the back. And I was like, okay. Orton called himself no longer the Legend Killer, but now the Legend. I kind of like that. Orton knew they had a target on his back as the champion, but didn't care if it was McIntyre, Miz, Reigns, The Fiend, anybody. He said he challenged them all to come and get it. Alexa Bliss would then come down to the ring. Orton said, "Where is he? I know he's here. You're not here alone." And Bliss played innocent while holding up her gloves. One read play, one read pain. She dropped the hand that said play, and she said, "He is here." We got the whole lights come back on. No Fiend, Drew McIntyre. And I guess now Drew McIntyre is also out of nowhere because Tom Phillips keeps saying, Drew McIntyre with the Claymore out of nowhere. He's been saying that for the last month. Drew McIntyre with the Claymore out of nowhere. So as McIntyre goes to leave, Miz and Morrison run in from over by the announce desk, and Miz attempts to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Ref calls for the match to be started. Mike Rome says The Miz is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. And then, before the bell rings, he gets claymored by one Drew McIntyre. McIntyre throws him out of the ring. McIntyre throws Morrison out of the ring and then yells, "Hey, ain't nobody coming for this man but me. I'm going to get Randy Orton. I'm going to take the title off of him." My first thought was, and I get it, it's a pride thing, but my first thought was, bro, Drew, fucking let Miz win, then beat Miz's ass and get the title easier. But I get it's a pride thing. Drew wants, to, what's the word I'm looking for? Drew wants to earn it, I guess you could say, from the guy that took it from him. So in the back, Charlie Caruso caught up with Miz and Morrison. Miz was pissed that McIntyre got in the way of him becoming WWE champion. Every time Miz would say a liner, you'd hear Morrison, "Fact." Miz would be like, "I was cashing in my Money in the briefcase, but, what do you say? Well, the bell didn't ring. It wasn't an official cash-in. Fact. Drew McIntyre screwed me out there by interrupting. Fact." It was funny, I guess you could say. Miz said that he knows what he needs to do now. He needs to go out there and become the newest big star of Monday Night Raw. Morrison then challenged McIntyre to a 2-on-1 handicap match later on tonight. So going forward, Elias cut a pre-match promo as they were setting up for the Guitar on a Pole match. He said that when WWE asked him to do this match, he didn't want to part with this guitar, the one that he's holding currently. But he'd give another one of his Fenders. He started to play a song and then was interrupted by Jeff Hardy as this match went roughly 8.5 minutes. Hardy climbed the pole, but Elias chucked a stool at him, which really didn't look like it hurt for some reason. Jeff just no-sold it, kinda. And they went to break roughly 90 seconds into this match. Elias was in control when we came back until he went for the guitar, and Hardy stopped him. Hardy mounted a comeback and hit a twist of fate. Hardy would grab the guitar eventually, jump off the top rope, and hit Elias with it. Guitar didn't break. That had to hurt a little. Hardy then pinned Elias and picked up the victory. I thought it was first person to grab the guitar can use it, and then if you hit your opponent with it, you win. I don't know. These on a pole matches are always so sketch as far as the rules do go. But this was basically a straightforward finish that we actually got. And the last time we saw these two, it was a wonky finish. So I'm just going to say I'm glad they gave us an actual finish. With that, our poll has subsided. What did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? 67% of you said that you liked Monday Night Raw. 20% of you said it was all right. And 13% of you said I didn't like it. Also, looking a little blurry. Again, like I said, I'm still dialing in this. I think we're good about that. So it looks like the majority of you did like tonight's Monday Night Raw. As we go forward, we had the women's... Okay, so does anybody else do this? When we're talking about the women's tag champs, they say Raw or SmackDown. For some reason, it's always... I think I'm conditioned this because of the men's tag titles. I always want to say Raw Tag Team Champions, Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. But it's just the Women's Tag Team Champions and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. The two were defending their titles against Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And I was a little surprised by this because over the weekend, I'm 99% sure this match was announced as a non-title match. Just saying. So before the match even started, Lana would make her way out. Brooke and Rose took most of the match before losing, though. Match went about 3.5 minutes. Baszler kept distracting herself by looking at Lana. Brooke went for basically a roll-up kind of deal. And Baszler got her in the Karafuda clutch off of it. And Brooks tapped out. That was about it. And Brooke tapped out. Simple as that. Baszler would not let go of the Karafuda clutch because Lana jumped up on the apron. Lana was yelling about nothing in particular, it seemed. Baszler got in her face, and there we go. Jackson Baszler looked over at Lana, and, well, they were not all too happy with Lana being out there. And I don't know what it was, but especially Mandy and Dana Brooke, they were almost moving in slow-mo tonight. It was like they were lost or I just don't off their game or something. But especially Dana Brooke, when there was a spot when she did the roll-up, Shayna pushed her off, and then she was supposed to bump Lana on the apron, and she, like, tiptoed over to Lana. She moved so slowly. So going forward, Orton told Charlie Caruso that it might be time to remind McIntyre who the Hunter was with an RKO. So going forward, U.S. champion Bobby Lashley took on the 24/7 champion R-Truth. Truth came out and he was asked by Sarah Schreiber, why are you taking on Bobby Lashley tonight? Why would you accept this challenge? He goes, what? Bobby Lashley? I thought I was coming out here to meet my favorite water boy, Bobby Boucher. My favorite water boy too. My favorite movie. And she was like, no, you're facing Bobby Lashley. He's like, oh, crap. So Bobby Lashley comes down. Basically, Truth's just like, hey, Bobby, we don't got to do this. How about I just lay down, you pin me, the match is over. And Lashley's like, ain't how it works. I want to put you in the hurt lock. And Truth is just like, no, just pin me and we'll all be okay. Well, Lashley went to pick up Truth. Truth kicked him. Truth hit a few strikes before Lashley speared him. Lashley applied the hurt lock, and Truth passed out, giving Lashley the victory. Match is over, so what happens? Drew Gulak would run down and try to pin R-Truth, but Lashley would pull him off, Dominator. He would then put Gulak in the hurt lock, throw Gulak on top of Truth, and Gulak would pin Truth, unconscious, both guys, and, well, new 24/7 champion. Lucha House Party were seen in the back. They saw everything that had just happened. And they were going to make their way down to the ring when they ran into AJ Styles and Jordan Amogban. Styles asked if there was a problem here, and they said, oh, no, no, no. And they backed off and went away. I got something caught in my throat that just does not want to go. Don't you hate that? You got this like tickle or a scratch or something right here. And it just doesn't want to go away at all. So, where were we? Sarah Schreiber asked Nia Jax in the back about, well, Lana being a ringside. Jax didn't even want to hear that name. It seemed like Jax was going to offer a little ultimatum. Leave Team Raw or else. But seemed to change her mind and decided, You know what? I'm just going to end Lana's career. How about that? How about that? AJ Styles would come out. He mentioned Kevin Owens and Jey Uso qualifying for Team SmackDown and said, well, we got to figure out who's going to be on Team Raw. We got 2 more spots open. We need a, what did he say? He said, we need a team captain. Who better than me to be that team captain? Sheamus would then come out along with Keith Lee. Both men said they never agreed to allowing AJ to be the team captain. They also said they don't care who's on Team SmackDown, whether it's Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, or even Angie Mysterio. They can all come for him in Team Raw. Lee said he didn't agree to make Styles the captain, like I stated, and his large association wasn't going to intimidate him. Like, he's basically said, AJ, your big boy back there, I ain't scared of him. Sheamus said the same thing, basically. Sheamus and Styles were running around kind of like just spitting liners and stuff before Strowman would finally interfere or interrupt. Strowman said that they were all, or he was all they needed to flush out Team Raw. Lee said, whoa, whoa, whoa. We all had to qualify. You ain't just going to walk in here and be granted a spot on the team. Strowman talked about his success in previous Survivor Series, even winning one and beating Lee clean a couple of weeks ago. Strowman also thought he should be captain, which Styles didn't appreciate. Finally, Adam Pearce would come out and go, hey, Braun, I know you want to be on Team Raw, but you got to earn it. And, well, nobody in the back wants to face you in a qualifying match. So, unfortunately, you can't be on the team. Then AJ comes up with a great idea and says, whoa, whoa, whoa. These 3 guys all want to fight. So how about if Strowman can beat these 2 in Keith Lee and Sheamus, he can join us on Team Raw. Adam Pearce liked it. They all agreed. That match was a thing. They went 14 and a half minutes. Also, Styles joined on commentary. So there was a spot, and I got to just pull it up. I got to do it. I got to pull this up because, holy crap. I like Keith Lee killed himself. Let's see. I'm going to pull this spot up. Keith Lee does this. If you guys didn't see it, Keith Lee does this flip dive that just, I thought he busted his skull open. He landed right on the apron. Freaking back of the head first. All right, let's pull this up here. So if you see, there is a spot. In fact, if it'll pause so you guys can see it from the start. All right. So you see here, Keith Lee's in the ring. Sheamus and Strowman are outside of the ring on the ramp. Keith Lee jumps, dives, boom, head crashes. Let's see that one more time. Right? Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to pause it. Right? Look, head crashes right there. Let's try to get right in the. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Head bounces right off. And then watch. AJ's shocked. And Keith Lee just gets right up. Like, holy crap. This man just gets right up. Are you kidding me right now? He thinks he's a cruiserweight. Motherfucker. But after that, Strowman ran over both men, knocked him out clean, even threw Keith Lee towards the announce table. Strowman tried a double chokeslam, but they fought him off and chucked him into the steel steps. And AJ was just like, "Oh, calm down, guys." And I like on commentary, I think it was Byron goes, "You think this is smart to have 2 of your guys, potentially 3 of your guys, fighting each other before the pay-per-view? What if one of them gets hurt and can't make it to Survivor Series?" And I go, Byron with a good freaking thought there. I think it was Byron. May have been Tom Phillips that said it, but one of them. So a lot of this match, it was AJ going, "Ugh. Just be a little more careful." That was funny. He basically said, "Oh, someone just wins with a roll-up. That way they don't have to hit their big move on them and hurt somebody." At one point, Strowman was hit with the steel steps. Oh, I already read that part. Actually, at one point, Sheamus had Lee in a rest hold after a commercial break. Lee began fighting back, but Strowman ran them over and tossed Sheamus around the ring. Sheamus fought back and hit an impressive white noise for a 2. Sheamus went to the top, but Strowman went after him. Then, Lee went underneath both men. And then, we got a big old Tower of Doom spot where Keith Lee electric chaired Strowman, who superplexed Sheamus, and Styles yells out on commentary, "How's the ring?" Hoping that ring don't break from that. As Tom Phillips tells us, that's about 1,000 pounds of just girth crashing down at one time. At one point, Lee gave Strowman a running body block for a 2. Sheamus gave Lee a knee strike for a near fall. Sheamus instead of for a bro kick, but Strowman, I mixed Strowman and Sheamus' name there, Strowman clotheslined Sheamus out of the ring. Lee gave Strowman a big clothesline for a 2. Sheamus then gave Lee a bro kick before Strowman gave Sheamus a power slam, picked up the victory. So Sheamus wins the triple threat and qualifies for Team Raw. Excuse me. Styles will then enter the ring and applauded everybody for a job well done. Styles wanted all of them to shake hands. Lee and Strowman reluctantly shook hands. Sheamus initially refused to shake Strowman's hand, but hugged him instead. Well, shocker. Because, well, Sheamus suddenly knocked Strowman out of the ring with a bro kick. Not that big of a shocker at that point. Lee tackles Sheamus out of the ring, and Styles drop kicked Lee out of the ring. Styles acted upset that they couldn't all get along. And I'm like, bro, you're upset. You kicked Keith Lee. Whatever. Kind of hokey air at the end. But basically, Raw is the big man team and AJ. And SmackDown's going to be the more high-flying athletic guys, I guess you can say. But here's the question. Who rounds out Team Raw? Who do they have left to round out Team Raw? Are we going to come down to the wire and it's just going to end up being McIntyre? Sorry about that. We'll get to it, Pizza King. In the back, Angel Garza was in a suit and offered a rose to a special lady out there in the WWE Universe. They then aired the clip of The Undertaker on Jimmy Fallon, while Caruso then interviewed McIntyre. He said he wanted to be the one to beat Orton and told The Fiend to wait in line. He hoped it would be himself against him against Roman Reigns at Survivor Series and put that over as well. He's going to challenge before Survivor Series for the WWE Championship. He said, but first, he's got to beat Miz and Morrison tonight. Next up, we have the Firefly Fun House. Abby the Witch didn't want anything to do with Randy Orton and said he can go fuck himself. And Alexa goes, whoa, there's no swearing in the Fun House, Abby. 10 cents in the swear jar. Swear jar had a lot of money already in it. So they've been cussing up a storm. Abby swore at Bliss, so maybe that made it 25 cents. Wyatt kept having visions of what Orton did to him in the past. Wyatt said he never forgets. Bliss wanted assistance from Wyatt. Wyatt placed his hands over her head. Her eyes then turned white with red rings in them. Red goo poured out of her mouth, which looked like it wasn't really red goo. It was more like a snake's tongue that looked like what are those candies? Oh, they're like glass looking. They're long. Oh, it's going to be on the tip of my tongue. I don't even know now. She had this long tongue resembling a snake's tongue. Get it? Because Randy Orton's the Viper. And Bray would say, oh, shit. So next up, Nia Jax come out to take on Lana. This went about 3 minutes. There was a tape promo by Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce who said Lana's going to get killed tonight and then one of us may get her spot at Survivor Series. Jax seemingly had this match won multiple times. He would beat down Lana and right at 2, whoop, roll her up. No, Sean Cook, I wasn't thinking of for a roll up. It was a harder candy. It was a hard candy like a glass sheen to it. So every time Lana would be down, you'd think she's dead. Nope. Nia Jax would break the cover. But Lana wouldn't stay down. Told Lana just give up. Just quit. End this. But Lana wouldn't give up. Wouldn't quit. Wouldn't end it. So finally, Jax had enough. Jax gave her Samoan drop in the middle of the ring and pinned her 1, 2, 3. After the match, Jax and Baszler were leaving when Jax said, "Hold on a second. Go get her." And here's my thing. For as much as Jax and Baszler argue with each other over, you don't tell me what to do, you're not the leader of this team, blah, blah, blah. Every time Nia tells Shayna to do something, she just does it without even arguing. She says, clearly announce table. Shayna does it instantly. She says, go grab Lana in the ring. Shayna does it instantly. So Shayna, you're telling us that Nia is the leader of this team. But Shayna jumps in the ring and grabs Jax as Baszler clears the announce table. Jax then grabs Lana as she's thrown out of the ring and gives her, a seventh. The seventh time she's given her a Samoan drop through the announce table. And I'm like, why? Why do we need to keep having this? This is making absolutely no damn sense. Just like this cough that won't go away. Making no damn sense. So going forward, we saw Truth in the back wearing a neck brace. He was walking around, walked up on the Hurt Business and said, I made a wrong turn. I'm going to go back this way. The MVP and the rest of the Hurt Business came out, talk about Survivor Series in the VIP lounge. And up to this point, I had felt that about everything tonight went just a little bit too long. And then we get this that went more than a little bit too long. This went a little bit too long. I want to respond to Pizza King in the chat real fast. Pizza King says, if Sarah Logan wasn't pregnant still in WWE, what do you think she would be doing? First off, you can't even put 2 and 2 together because she wasn't going to try to get pregnant if she was still in WWE. She said the only reason she got pregnant was because she didn't have to be in WWE anymore. She said, when I was released, Ro and I talked about it and said this is the perfect time to finally try to have a child. They weren't trying before, and they wouldn't be trying to have one now. Just saying. The only reason they even tried was because she didn't have to be on the road. She's going to be home all the time. So your statement, and I'm not trying to be rude if it's coming off rude, I apologize, is inadequate. Saying if she wasn't pregnant and still in WWE, well, if she was still in WWE, she wouldn't have gotten pregnant in the first place. But if she was still in WWE, I have no clue. I honestly don't know. She'd probably be in the Riot Squad with Ruby and Liv. But MVP was talking about Retribution and finishing them off, and their payment would be the Raw Tag Team titles, and that they were going to be the Raw Tag Team champions going into Survivor Series, and out would then come the New Day. And is it just me, or do anybody else get a little sad when they hear the New Day's music, minus Big E's entrance? Minus Big E, oh, Thunderdome, or whatever city we're in. Don't you dare be sour. I missed it. I miss it already. So New Day come out. Xavier Woods thought it was funny that Lashley, of all people, would say that their time is up. Woods said that I've been a big fan of Bobby Lashley for a very long time. I've been a fan so long that I got in trouble trying to stay up to watch one of your matches. Why did I get in trouble? Because I had a big test the next day to get me from 6th grade to 7th grade. Talked about how MVP is one of the best on the mic ever, and he's been around for a long time. Talked about how Shelton's been around for a long time, and they said, Cedric, you're just here. Kofi then said, you know who else has been here for a while? Who? I have. I and Kofi Kingston, that is. He's won a lot of titles, and it's a New Day. They've won 10 tag team championships. And Woods goes, sure, it's not 9. And Kofi goes, let's round it up to an even 10. And then Woods agrees and goes, "Oh, we beat the Dudleys." And I go, "Oh my fucking God." That was weird. They start, talking about the tag titles and how they're not going to lose the tag titles and this and that. And the way they're talking, even though the match was announced as a non-title match, you think, title's on the line. Because the women's tag title match was announced as a non-title match, but the titles were on the line. So we go to this match, and we get, I really don't have to recap all the rest of the stuff that was said, because it was just long in the tooth and didn't really need to get said. But Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander took on the Raw Tag Team Champions Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. MVP was on commentary and said that they wanted the gold, and that gold was the tag team titles. He acknowledged that the belts themselves were not gold, but they represented gold. I liked that a lot, because they're these little fucking copper pennies. Little quarters. So Kingston made a hot tag at one point after a break and ran wild on Cedric Alexander. Got a couple of 2 counts until Alexander came back with the Michinoku driver for a 2. Benjamin tagged in, but Woods tagged himself in as well and hit a slingshot DDT for a 2. Benjamin followed this up with a spinebuster for a 2. At one point, Kingston sent Alexander out of the ring, but Benjamin stopped him from hitting a dive. Alexander would give Woods a neuralizer, and Benjamin followed this up with the pay dirt to pick up the victory. So the Hurt Business beats the champs, but it's a non-title match. So it's like, oh, okay, what does this really mean? Next week, we're going to get this match again, and New Day's going to win. They're not going to not do New Day versus Street Profits at the pay-per-view. Like, that's a money match that they're not going to push to the wayside for Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. No, I don't think so at all. Can't get over this damn cough. So in the back, we see Nikki Cross walking around. She comes up on a backwards or turned around Alexa Bliss. She's talking to Alexa from behind. She's like, "Alexa, I know you. No one's known you better than me for the last year. Talk to me. Snap out of this." The real Alexa Bliss would never let anybody tell her what to do. "Alexa, what has happened?" Alexa would turn around. Camera zoomed in on her face, and her eyes were white and red. Okay. I guess. I don't know what that's supposed to be. So the white eyes with the red ring, I don't get it. I don't. So at this point, I go, well, the show's got to be almost over, right? Look down the clock. Oh, crap. There's still an hour and 15 minutes left in this show. Or an hour at this point, or something like that. Maybe it was right before this segment. But there was a spot where I'm like, the show's got to be over by now. Nope. It's still very long in the tooth. This show, I don't know if it's the time change. I don't know if it's, it got darker earlier. Like, usually, it ain't dark before I go live on Twitch. It was dark before the first hour of Raw was over. So, maybe that's what made it seem so long, that it just felt like it was later in the night. But by the hour left mark, I was just like, this show's got to be over soon. It just feels so long. And we ended up having Ricochet versus Tucker, and Tucker got a full makeover. And then a 30-second beatdown. Ricochet beats Tucker in 37 seconds or so. And out would come Mustafa Ali. He sauntered down to the ring. Actually, before the match started, he came out. But anyways, Tucker, like I said, was repackaged. Very generic. Just a pale guy with thin, long hair. Black trunks with some lines down the sides, and the ass says night. Whoopee! Broke up heavy machinery so Tucker can get squashed by Ricochet in 37 seconds. You would think they'd have Tucker come in here and be this big guy that's going to beat down smaller guys. No, he gets beat by the smaller guy. Granted, it's Ricochet, but still. So eventually after this match, Retribution comes out. They chucked Ricochet from the ring. and beat up Tucker for a moment. Slapjack would then go and grab Ricochet and throw him back in the ring. At one point, Mason T-Bar gave him a double choke slam, and Mia Yim was in there running around, get him, you guys got this, get him. Ali and Retribution all beat down Ricochet. Ricochet kept yelling, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And basically, Mustafa Ali just said, everybody that sinned, they're going to have to pay for those sins. We used to be friends. What happened? Something like that. It was something like that. And I was like, okay, interesting. The lights went out as if they were going to a break, but they actually cut to the back, where McIntyre bumped into his old pal Sheamus. McIntyre was happy to see him, but said he has business to take care of. Sheamus said they should join Team Raw, which meant they could team up again, together again. McIntyre said he would love to team with him, but he's busy dealing with Randy Orton. Sheamus says, I understand. Sheamus wanted him to Claymore kick Miz and shove that briefcase right down his throat. So I'm like, is Sheamus a babyface? What is this bullshit? That's a babyface Sheamus if I ever seen one. Next up, we get our main event that went 15 and a half minutes. It was a 1-on-2 handicap match. Drew McIntyre versus The Miz and Morrison. McIntyre was in control until Miz chop blocked him, and Morrison followed with a Shining Wizard for a 1. McIntyre fought back and gave Morrison a reversed Alabama slam off the top to Miz on the outside, which led to a break. After that break, McIntyre was in control on Morrison. Miz and Morrison eventually got some double team in on the former champion. They drove him into the post and the barricade. Morrison went to the top, but McIntyre grabbed him and did Sheamus's clubbing chest spot. Morrison crotched McIntyre, but McIntyre managed to sit up and yank Morrison down with a suplex. Did the whole, I'm in the tree of woe, but I'm going to do a sit-up, grab you, threw him so hard that he did a freaking flip and landed right on his face. Cool spot, though. Miz did get a tag at one point and ran wild. They traded shots until McIntyre hit a spine buster, but Morrison broke up the pin attempt. Hit him with a shooting star press. Morrison tagged in and used a neckbreaker for a 2. Miz then tagged himself in and hit a skull-crushing finale for a very close near fall. Miz followed this up with the it kicks, but McIntyre shoved him into Morrison. McIntyre followed this up with the Future Shock DDT. Morrison yanked Miz from the ring, so McIntyre wiped them both out with a flip dive. Better flip dive than Keith Lee because he didn't almost break his neck. McIntyre then pulled Miz back into the ring, hit him with a Claymore kick, and pinned him right there to pick up the victory. Nothing on the line, no reason for this match, and it was in the main event. Are you freaking kidding me? I wasn't looking forward to this. I wasn't happy after this. And then, well, as everyone probably predicted, Orton flew in, gave McIntyre an RKO. There you go. Show goes off the air as we hear the Fiend's laugh echoing over the speakers of the Thunderdome. Very predictable end. McIntyre wins, gets an RKO. Fiend is somehow present. And it was very, very underwhelming. But with that, that was Monday Night Raw. If you guys want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Let's see if we got any text messages here. We got a couple. First says, Tim, did you see Walter versus Dragunov from NXT UK? If so, what did you think? I think those two were just out there to fucking kill each other. They wanted to have a match that was as brutal as possible without any weapons. Basically, they were the weapons. And Ilya Dragunov is the perfect, little guy. Not saying that he's little, but smaller guy against Walter. Because he's got that skin. It's like Daniel Bryan. When you hit him, you leave those red marks, and those red marks stay. So every time Walter would hit him with that hard chop or something, and he got a red mark on his chest or his back or wherever, it stayed there, and you saw it. This person here says, do you think Mustafa Ali is going to recruit anybody else for Retribution, or are these just going to be the core 5 guys? Could we see maybe Ricochet get initiated and enforced to join Retribution after what we saw tonight? I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't want I personally wouldn't want to see anybody else without a mask. I think Mustafa Ali is the only one that needs to have no mask. But if you're going to do a thing where it's like, Ricochet, I'm making you join. And we know that's Ricochet, but then they start calling him like, well, I don't know, Bounce, because, Ricochet, Bounce, I don't know. It's like, no, we know, even though we know Mia Yim's Mia Yim, even though we know T-Bar's Dijakovic and whatnot, they were never introduced on the main roster as such. So I don't want to see anybody from the main roster get added to Retribution, to be completely honest. Finally, this last text message here, it'll load. Last text message says, honestly, do you see any titles changing hands before Survivor Series? They're pushing it so hard that I think one has to change. I would have thought maybe the SmackDown Women's title, but they're pushing so hard that Sasha can't defend a title, that she's probably going to end up defending it on Friday successfully. But if any title is going to change, that's the one that I think would change. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Again, thank you for joining me here. If you missed any of this, you can watch it back. YouTube.com/ProWrestlingUnlimited. Also, you can follow us on social media. Facebook.com/ProWrestlingULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And follow us on that Twitter, PWUnlimited. So with that, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you back here again Wednesday for AEW Dynamite and NXT. Have a good night, guys.